welcome to the first episode of 3Ps in a podcast.
First official.
Yeah, the first official one. The first official
Done
one.
Some practice ones. This is the main one.
Exactly. Yeah. Finally starting it up.
Yeah.
This one is conspiracy theories.
Yeah, got some good ones. I think I'm doing a bit about 9/11 talking about.
We got some classics and we got some others.
We got some nice
ones.
We got some nice ones. I mean, I think it's only fair to start off with the OG one.
Yeah.
JFK.
JFK.
Yeah, that's where you got to start. That's where it all starts, really.
There's a lot. There's a lot about JFK.
Yeah, just go.
So most of it revolves around the shooter.
Yeah.
Lee Harvey Oswald, whether or not he was involved with other people,
Mm-hmm.
or if there were other shooters, or like what was the mastermind? Because the official story is that he acted completely alone.
Yeah.
And so did the person who killed him.
I think.
Who Jack Ruby.
Yeah, and I feel like Jack Ruby killing Lee Harvey Oswald shrouded it even in more mystery than
there's some stuff about Jack Ruby.
Yeah.
So there's a couple different trains of thought that you can go down.
Yeah.
You can go down the one where it was the mafia.
Okay.
Or the CIA or Russia.
Yeah.
All of those are like
you're leading suspects. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So since we're talking about Jack Ruby anyways, we'll just jump right into it. So the mafia. Jack Ruby was actually he was a nightclub owner with supposed connections to the organized crime unit in Chicago.
Wow. Okay.
Really?
Right. And JFK's brother, Robert Kennedy, did a lot of work combating a lot of these mobs. So it's theorized that the Chicago mob hired Lee Harvey Oswald to kill JFK, and then when he got caught,
cover it up by killing him.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, it makes sense. It's classic 60s story.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mafia just everywhere.
There's actually some recordings that the FBI looked into after he was killed, and like intercepting a lot of the mafia recordings, and a lot of them were sympathetic towards JFK. Actually,
really,
yeah, there were a couple that were saying that they killed the wrong Kennedy and stuff like that. Because
because Robert.
Right, the mob didn't have anything against JFK.
Yeah.
They had a lot against Robert.
And if you think about it, why would you want to kill the president?
Right.
You don't want that much heat on you.
I don't know.
And JFK was one of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not many people really had like kind of a hate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was sort of portrayed as a nice guy.
Yeah.
I think the mafia one is the one that I give the least legitimacy towards. I don't know. It just seems like they would have to mess up pretty bad to get the wrong Kennedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
on a like it doesn't really make much sense.
Exactly.
It doesn't really make much sense. For me, the one that makes the most sense is the CIA.
Oh, okay.
There's so much connecting the CIA to it, and a lot of the other ones they make sense, but they have a lot running around them. So Lyndon B. Johnson, there's theories that he killed Kennedy
because
to
of
move
course,
up, because he like he described the vice presidency as boring and emasculating and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear that he didn't enjoy.
He doesn't want to
being
be
the vice.
there.
Yeah. He tried to run against Kennedy for the Democratic nominee for the president election,
and then just slid in there for the
and then became vice president. And then obviously after JFK died, he became the president.
Yeah, and then he got all set up with Vietnam.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he was pushing for that kind of agenda.
Exactly. There's actually an instance of LBJ talking to a female compatriot at a party and talking about the Kennedys, and it's suspicious.
Really?
I think that's all. It's suspicious. He goes pretty in depth. Like he says like the Kennedys have messed with me for the last time, and this is the night before the assassination.
Yeah. Oh.
The night before the assassination,
really?
like the Kennedys have messed with me for the last time. After tomorrow, nobody will be talking about them anymore.
He said that?
Yeah.
Like, on record?
Not on record, but
yeah,
allegedly. Allegedly, he said that. And I don't know how much I put behind it, because it seems...
Yeah, of course.
Like, how much of an idiot do you have to be?
Yeah.
To talk to some girl who has no ties to you professionally or maritally, like, to tell her outwardly that you're basically telling her that you're killing the Kennedys the night before the assassination.
It's just gonna link you.
Yeah. It's just, it doesn't seem that smart, and
yeah,
I don't know. It doesn't make, it makes, like, his motives make sense.
Yeah, of course. But
like, he was the one who organized the Dallas trip.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
really?
he's the reason why JFK was there, because Texas was a swing state. So he sent, or JFK went there to sort of, to increase popularity and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Him being a Democrat in a mostly Republican state.
Yeah, even then.
So you got to kind of hit that nail on the head, really.
It's suspicious, but I don't know. There's not enough weight behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's not enough weight about anything, so.
Exactly.
Anything regarding his
I think the big thing that causes these conspiracy theories, though, is the magic bullet.
Okay.
Like, so in the Warren Committee, in their study of this, the magic bullet theory is essential to it, because it suggests that there's only one shooter.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing. But
so you got
once you look into it, it doesn't make much sense. So the story is that 3 bullets were shot. 3 bullet casings were found at the scene of the crime. The first one missed.
Yeah.
And then the third one was the fatal headshot. The second one is this magic bullet. So
didn't it go into like the seat or something?
It went through a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so it went in the back of JFK's neck, out the front, into John Connolly's back, exited right under the right nipple, into his right wrist, out of it, and into the left thigh.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is a lot.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know much about guns, but I know he was a military man, Oswald, and he had training before, but that has nothing to do with it. That has to do with caliber bullet, and I don't think going through a neck, out of where did it go? Neck, out the neck,
through the chair, into his back, wrist, and into his left thigh. And this is the best part: the bullet was completely intact. So when they pulled it out of his left thigh, it was completely intact. Wow. That just doesn't make any sense.
That goes against fundamentals.
There's no way. There's no way it can go through that much stuff and stay intact. Yeah. Almost completely. It doesn't make any sense.
And so that means it didn't hit any bones, in theory.
Yeah. Which
going through a wrist, a chest.
Think about the nipple.
The chest is the biggest one. Yeah. Because if it's coming out right here, it's gonna hit some bone. Yeah. Like there's no way that fragments would not pop off that.
To go through a wrist as well. Think about how you got all your wrist bones.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
The Zapruder film. I don't know. Have you guys seen it? I think you have. That's the one.
Which one?
It's the video of JFK being killed.
Yeah, I think it's pretty famous.
Isn't there something about how there's only one film of him getting shot?
There's one good one, and there was a whole lawsuit behind it.
Yeah, because the government took it from that person.
The daughter of Zapruder, the person who filmed it, sued the government for the rights of the film. You can still find it, but so listen to this. So in the frames of the film, President Kennedy was shot between, this is for the second bullet, between frames 210 and 225.
Okay.
Governor Connolly is wounded by frame 240. So by 240 he gets hit. The problem with that is that Oswald was using a bolt action rifle.
Yeah. And you couldn't get that
And
many bullets off.
The
in that
FBI
time.
actually tested it
Yeah.
and concluded that the minimum time in order to get off 2 shots for that would be 2.25 seconds or 41 to 42 Zapruder films or frames.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Just think about it.
like that brings into question whether or not there were multiple shooters.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty clear to me that there has to be 2 shooters. There's no way a bullet could go that far,
Yeah.
and also it
Just doesn't add up.
You know, if
Yeah,
if a bullet
it
can't
just
go,
doesn't.
if a bullet can't do that, that suggests that there's 2 bullets. And if there's 2 bullets, there's not enough time for Oswald to fire both of them accurately.
Yeah.
There's not enough time. You would need double the time that it was done in, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah,
'Cause
with
I-
that accuracy too.
Yeah, because I remember,
exactly.
because I've actually been to Dallas and been to the museum that
Oh,
that
really?
is
Really? Okay.
where JFK, and there's a big X in the
Yeah.
street where where JFK was shot. And I mean, going through all of it, like I remember something hearing about like they hired their best shooter, the FBI, the best shooter they had on like record, to try and fire off these shots accurately.
Yeah.
and not even he could do it. And
Yeah.
Lee Harvey Oswald,
He was trained as a
he
sharpshooter.
was trained as a sharpshooter, but he's not.
Still,
he's not.
Still,
Still,
exactly.
he's no Chris Kyle.
It doesn't make it
Exactly,
doesn't make
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It just doesn't make any sense. And then there's the Umbrella Man. You guys know the Umbrella Man?
I do know a
I've
bit
heard
about
something
him.
about
yeah.
it.
Yes.
Yeah, but not.
So the idea
much.
behind the Umbrella Man is that while JFK was driving by when he got shot, there was a man on the side of the street who opened an umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever. But it was sunny. There was no rain. Just like, so he stands up, opens up the umbrella.
Doesn't he do a little like
Yeah,
up to him? Yeah.
So the speculation around it is that this was a signal to the second shooter. Because while JFK is driving by, he gets hit.
Yeah.
You know, so it makes it seem like there's some sort of communication there. And there's theories where it's like the umbrella shot out a poison dart and
Yeah.
stuff. You know,
There's like I think I've seen looking with you some diagrams, but at the same time,
Yeah, like
you know, it's not really plausible
yeah. It just-
Yeah,
It makes
yeah.
way more sense
for it to be a
yeah.
signal more
Yeah,
than
exactly.
more than the gun itself.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Plus, if he's pulling it upwards and the bullet goes upwards, like it's not
Yeah.
gonna hit JFK. And then if it comes out the what do you call them? The spires.
Yeah,
Whatever,
we'll just go
the
with spies.
spine
Yeah,
of it,
I know
yeah.
what you mean. Yeah,
The people around him would get hit.
exactly.
You know,
Uh-huh.
that one doesn't make any sense. But I think the idea that he could be like it's a signal.
Mm-hmm.
He's
to
part
get-
like the idea that he's
Yeah.
in
I
it
think-
somehow. Yeah.
I don't think Lee Harvey Oswald did it by himself.
No,
I don't think that
he
it
could.
was it was meditated only by him and carried out by him. It doesn't
It
doesn't add up.
Yeah,
It doesn't add
exactly,
up. It
exactly.
doesn't add up, which calls into question the CIA, which looking into it makes the most sense out of all of them because Russia there's obvious ties, but it doesn't make sense to have Lee Harvey Oswald, somebody who is stated as a communist and traveled to Russia, lived there for 2.5 years, tried to renounce his U.S. citizenship.
Yeah,
You know, he even went to the Russian embassy in Mexico City 2 months before the assassination.
he went to the Cuba one, didn't he? As
Yes, yeah, he went to went to
Which-
both of them.
well, as you guys probably know,
Cold War.
communists.
yeah.
Yeah.
And height of Cuban Missile
literally
Crisis.
height.
Exactly.
It just doesn't seem very smart for the KGB to enlist somebody with so many connections to
It's a
Russia.
paper trail. It's an absolute
Yeah.
paper trail.
Exactly. It makes it too easy for
Mhm.
everybody to figure out.
Yeah.
Which leads me back to the CIA. So there's a lot of tension between the CIA and JFK
Mhm.
prior to this. There was a lot of pushing and pulling. A lot of members of the CIA got let off, and The Warren Committee reached the conclusion that we were talking about earlier, that it was completely alone. And then there was another committee that came after that once CIA files were released that stated that they were plotting to kill Fidel Castro during this time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously because of the
Communists.
Cold War
Yeah.
and Cuban, like all that stuff. But apparently JFK laid off a significant portion of the CIA
Really? Wow.
during this time, and there's a lot of tension between the two.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same, it still doesn't make sense. Like, I don't think any of these overarching ones
Yeah.
have any real hold on it, just
Yeah.
because a lot of their motives, while valid, don't really constitute killing JFK.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I mean, because everybody gets laid off. I'm not saying,
Yeah.
even with the tensions that they were, but I think it goes back to the point I was saying, is if you're a CIA agent and you're conspiring with other ones, you're not going to go after the president directly.
Right.
With also, like I said, the paper trail of them batting heads, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, maybe they're trying to cover up something bigger. If like, maybe LBJ, going back to what you said earlier, LBJ was working with some CIA agents to pull off something, like, crazy, but, like, who knows what it would have been. But JFK, being the guy that he was like, no, that's not how we should do this, because at his time, he had to be peaceful, but he had to be diplomatic at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Because one wrong move could have set the whole world into shambles.
Yeah, just one press of a button,
Yeah.
missiles to Cuba,
Yeah,
World War Three.
yeah.
Most likely.
Literally, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. There was also a lot of miscommunication leading up to the murders. So the route that
They changed it, didn't they change
they
it?
changed it,
Yeah.
and along the route, it was noted that there were over 20,000 windows, and because there were so many windows, they couldn't have a man on each window.
Exactly.
There's too many. So, instead of covering all of them, they decided to cover none of them. And then Oswald was also under active surveillance from the FBI. Like, he was being looked at, and
Yeah.
and the local FBI just decided not to tell the Secret Service about him, while Oswald was working in the building that he shot from, right along the motorcade.
And I feel like there's always that.
It's, like, so obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
At the
so
same time,
so
it's like,
obvious.
yeah.
And there's always, because of what I'm going to get into later, after we've talked about the other ones, is there's in mine as well as yours. There's a conflict always between the FBI and the CIA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In mine, there's
Yeah.
a huge one, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's quite possibly the reason why it all went down for my one.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's always that going at each other.
It's strange. You always think of the FBI and the CIA and the government working together because they seem like one cohesive unit.
Yeah.
When in reality, there's
They're
a
not.
lot of
Yes.
struggle between all of them.
I think it's a struggle for power, really.
Yeah,
Oh,
because they want
absolutely,
cases. They're
Yeah,
going back
exactly.
and forth at it.
Yeah. They're
For
all
some
trying to
reason
gain
we'll
control
never
over.
understand.
Yeah.
They can't just seem to, join together for protection.
Yeah.
Protecting
Exactly.
their citizens,
Exactly.
protecting presidents,
Yeah, I think Kennedy's assassination is one of the more interesting conspiracy theories out there, just because of the amount of
Confusion.
people that were
Yeah.
linked to it.
Yeah.
So I have a quick stat.
Okay.
So-
okay.
42 groups, 82 assassins, and 214 people separately by name have been called into question about their involvement with the assassination. Just an absurd amount of people being called into question about it.
Huh.
It's so widespread and such a huge moment
Yeah.
in U.S. history. I think there's so many angles that you can look at it from, and whether or not you believe in the Warren Committee's theory of the magic bullet and that he acted alone. I think you have to admit that there's something suspicious there. Like,
Yeah.
100%.
I remember I was not so researching this now, but I'm looking at it. The babushka lady. Did you read about the babushka lady? Well, there was this lady in a babushka, like a headdress.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she was on this hill, like, and had the opposite view of where they are, of course.
The motorcade.
Yeah. So this woman is seen. JFK had been shot. I'm reading here, and she still has this camera up to her face, and I know I can't vouch for everybody, but if you see somebody shot, you're gonna.
That's actually
Yeah.
that's actually a thing that I was gonna get into.
And,
So about the Umbrella Man. So he's right there. He watches JFK, the president of the United States, get shot. Everybody scatters, and he sits down on the side of the curb.
Yeah. Well, the same with this lady. This lady.
Like he doesn't run. He doesn't flinch.
Yeah,
he just sits down.
This lady had the camera up, puts it down, and walks up. Here it is, Elm Street, walking up east, and she's never been. They've never found her, and they've always wanted her because of that film she had, and I think that's a huge missing piece. Like another angle, at least another camera.
100%,
I think,
and for her not, and also for her
so
not to come forward, because this is a huge thing. It would have been.
She could have got
it
paid.
would have been everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, the president of the United
If-
States got killed.
Exactly. If I had a film of a president
I would
being
sell
assassinated,
that for so much money.
not even selling it,
Like,
just
dude,
out the
Make
goodness
bank
of,
off
Yeah,
that, dude.
literally.
Exactly.
out the goodness of your heart, you would think, hey, here's all my evidence. You know, you'd think you would be,
Yeah.
I'm this lady in this thing, and
Right.
present it. But she just walked, never seen again.
Exactly.
They never found out who she was, and they
What
never
she was doing.
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
she was
It's-
there.
what the film was, what it showed.
I think it's weird. It's weird. There's a lot of stuff about JFK that doesn't make sense and doesn't add up.
Topic up here. I think we have to do the Malaysian airplane.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
where is it? Like,
honestly,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
no one has
number one
found like,
question.
Where to go.
any trace. Like, yeah. So, I was watching this video like a while ago. Not sure how long, maybe a couple months ago, and it talked about the conspiracy of it. And I never really had thought that there was like
Yeah, you
a
just think,
crazy.
well,
yeah,
hey,
Yeah,
It's
I
just
remember
lost.
when
Yeah.
it happened.
Yeah.
It was just bizarre.
Yeah.
An entire
Like-
plane just disappeared.
yeah,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I didn't jump. Hey, conspiracy.
Exactly.
I just thought,
Yeah.
hey, you know what?
I guess
found-
that could happen.
I guess it could happen. I
I
found
was
it
up-
odd they couldn't
yeah.
track it,
yeah,
but you
I was
think they
convinced
would.
it just fell in the ocean.
Yeah,
yeah,
same.
but still, how did they not find the pieces?
That
Like,
that's
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah. So apparently, this
Exactly.
guy on Twitter, his name was like Ty or
Some
something.
great things start on Twitter.
Yeah, I know, right? So he got this voicemail on his phone, and it was saying like, and I'll throw the screen recording up in the video so you guys can hear it too. But it was just saying, it was like this automated voice saying like, not Morse code, but it was like Sierra Delta, like the
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I heard it. I've heard it.
like the military alphabet, phonetical alphabet, whatever it was. And so he didn't know what it was about at the time because this was a while after the plane had disappeared.
Yeah.
So like no
Not-
one was making that connection.
not in the front of your
yet.
mind, yeah.
Exactly. But someone like translated the codes and they threw them into Google Maps, like the latitude and longitude, and they got like right the location where the plane stopped stopped sending its like signal
Wow.
to the airlines.
What's up?
Yeah.
That's
And then,
weird.
yeah. So this guy, he posted that, and they made this whole thread, people talking about, like, blah, 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 this is where the plane disappeared, blah, blah, blah. And this guy also, he tweeted this, he said that it was 3 a.m., he just gotten home, and there's this guy in this, like, truck or something, just taking pictures of his house. Yeah, just taking pictures of his house. And he was
Wow.
so scared, but he finally got in and nothing happened. He like never saw anything about that again. Like, but he kept getting these messages on Twitter, like in like weird languages, saying like delete that right now or they're coming for you or stuff. So
Yeah.
he like I can see how that could be like someone could easily
Yeah,
go to his
that
accounts
seems
and
that
yeah.
seems a bit like
yeah.
Could be somebody just
I don't know if
messing
Exactly.
with them.
if it's so far after the fact, you know, it makes sense for someone to just like start messing with somebody.
Yeah, and then also like when they decoded the message, it's translated to danger SOS. It is dire for you to evacuate. Be cautious. They are not human. SOS. Danger. SOS. And yeah.
Wow.
They are not human. And then we're also going to throw this up on the video. So he got another recording, or someone else got another recording, and it sounded like he was in a cockpit. And you can hear this, like I'm not making conclusions here, but you can hear this thing, like, make this noise.
It's unhuman.
Yeah, that does not sound human. And then the pilot, like, because I think he was, like, threatening the pilot, whatever it was, because you can hear the pilot's, like, tone change in his voice.
Mm-hmm. Like he's like, damn.
Oh, yeah. And then he says, like, good night, Malaysia. This is Malaysian flight 371 or whatever it was. Good night, or whatever. And that was the last, like, transmit that is sent. And there's, like, weird audio in the background.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. Bizarre.
Yeah, I remember a lot of this stuff seemed like it could be just somebody messing with people. Mm-hmm. But I think, I don't know. It seems weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know a lot of things with aliens. I assume that's what they were going with.
Yeah,
aliens.
I think the theory is that aliens took the plane.
Yeah.
I remember, like, there was reading up on, like, aliens, but there's these military men and women who come out and say, yeah, I was flying at whatever altitude. There was something next to me. Wasn't on the radar, but there was something.
Really?
Yeah. Like, there's cases where, like, these people come out, like, high altitude fighter jets or, like, any high altitude planes, and they're like, that wasn't human. You know what I mean? And I feel like, especially if it's in the military's case, you know, I'm not saying all military people are not going to lie, because it's in human nature, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But it's less likely.
If some person went up to the street and said, "Oh yeah, I saw aliens while flying," versus a military man who's seen maybe war, not necessarily, but he's
seen stuff.
He's seen stuff. Like,
he knows.
He's got the mindset where it's nothing's going through unless it's kind of real.
Yep.
And these people swear by it. It's crazy, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think it just branches into another conspiracy just about aliens as a whole. You know, Area 51, obviously. I don't actually know that much about it, but there was a big one, I think it was in Arizona, where it was, like, there were a bunch of lights set up in a V formation in the sky.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember. I think
it was California.
Was it California?
I think.
It was somewhere on the west coast, and I remember that there was, like, people were convinced it was aliens, and there's tons of videos and stuff of it, like pictures and stuff.
But the military just said it was like a training exercise.
Yeah.
But then if the thing is like, the more they just diminish it off, is the more these conspiracies breed, to be honest.
Yes.
It's a breeding ground. Like, what is the military hiding if it's just a military practice? Why don't they come out and say, this is what we were doing, this is the time we were doing it, show proof of, like, records and stuff? Why not? It clears up everything. And it's not like these guys are, like, keeping something secret, because of course it's flying. If it was supposedly fighter jets or something, or just any aircraft in general, why wouldn't they come out if it's just that innocent, if it's just a practice run?
You know what I mean? Say, like, oh, we were flying like an F-35 over California.
Yeah, provide some specific examples.
Yeah.
You know, like, back yourself up on it.
Like, being so vague is what lets these conspiracies kind of harvest and, like.
Do you guys think there are aliens out there?
There has to be. Like,
I think it's a bit naive not to deny it.
Me personally, I don't think aliens as media or, like, movies portray
I can
them.
agree with that.
I don't think that exists.
There's
personally.
not some, like, green potato head running around with big black eyes.
Exactly. I think there's something out there, though.
It could be something.
It has to be.
It could be something that we can't even perceive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was actually reading another thing. It was this, I believe, government or some credible source, a very credible source, came out and said, "Oh yeah, we found this. We found these like atoms that they've never seen before." So like, he was like microscopic aliens.
Yeah.
And that is exactly because if you think about it,
That's an alien.
What?
Well, a bacteria on the planet.
Yeah.
Realistically, I just pulled it up. The definition of an alien is a foreigner, especially one who is not a naturalized citizen of the country where they are living, or belonging to a foreign country or nation. So realistically, that doesn't have to necessarily entail something with a higher intelligence.
Yeah, of course.
It's just like a living organism, not native to the earth. You know?
Well, there's also this crazy kind of conspiracy that, like, when I first heard about it, I was like, that's stupid. But then I was watching this show. I think it was on, like, the Discovery Channel or something. And I'm going to say this, and you guys are going to be like, wait, what? But then it's going to kind of make sense.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, there's a conspiracy that Bigfoot, they're actually aliens.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And it's like...
What?
Because, yeah, there's countless, like, events where people have seen, like, not to say a UFO, but they've seen something.
Yeah.
Like, something not natural. And then they've seen, like, a Bigfoot. Or they had a Bigfoot sighting.
There's also Mothman.
Yo.
Have you seen Mothman?
Yeah.
I think it's in... Is it in...
North Carolina.
Somewhere
around there.
I think it's West Virginia.
West Virginia, probably.
I think West Virginia is
It's always around those areas.
Yeah.
Which I think is to the detriment of these conspiracy
I
theories.
mean, like, if you think about it, Bigfoot's not going to run through New York City.
No.
know?
Like when do you
But
think
yeah,
of,
no, I agree.
have you ever heard of a Bigfoot running about in North Shore?
Anywhere
or
where
like,
there's actually people.
Yeah.
like Texas?
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like,
Well, that's the thing. We've never really...
but that's not to say
How have we not found a Bigfoot corpse,
exactly.
if they're real?
If we can find dinosaurs,
Yeah.
how can we
Nessie,
not find
yeah.
it?
Nessie
Not-
and Lake
not find
Oh
it.
my
Ness.
god, yeah.
I think
my
that's
God.
I think that's a hoax.
I think
Oh
it's,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's any way a dinosaur is living in just some random lake
'Cause I
in the
remember-
middle of Scotland.
Yeah.
I remember,
that doesn't make any sense.
I remember the super famous picture of it, like the picture.
Yeah, the
came
picture.
out
Yeah.
as false.
Oh yeah. It was completely doctored.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
it turned out to be like a log.
It was
Yeah.
a log. Yeah, it was a
Like
log.
set up.
Yeah.
Just a weird
Yeah.
log that someone sent floating and took a picture of it.
I feel like I feel definitely conspiracy theories are hurt by people trying to make them. You
Yeah,
know,
I
like,
think
if
a
people-
lot of people try and force it,
Yeah,
especially stuff like Bigfoot. And
Yeah.
like even my reaction to that
Exactly.
is completely
Yeah.
based off of like the way that these myths almost come up. It just
Yeah.
it doesn't
Doesn't make-
exactly make a lot of sense.
I mean-
or it's not coming from a reputable source.
Mhm.
You know, it's just some
Yeah.
dude who's like,
Who
I
would? Yeah.
just saw a Yeti.
yeah,
Like, all right,
Yeah.
dude, you
Who
know,
would like come up with that? Like.
yeah.
yeah, who comes up
Pe-
with
people-
Mothman?
people-
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know,
I think it's people who want the attention.
yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Or it's people that
Absolutely.
actually like think they saw it and they're like, there's no other explanation. Because there's people that swear by it,
Yeah,
Mhm.
like 100%. But there's others that are like,
yeah.
they do everything they can to like push it off as like, oh, that was blah blah blah, that was
Yeah.
something else.
mm-hmm.
I think it dilutes the amount of actual evidence. You know,
Yeah,
because for all we know, there could be a picture of Bigfoot out there that is
100%
legitimate.
real.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but because
Oh,
of the
'cause all
amount of
fakes,
the amount
yeah.
of fake ones trying to get famous, and I think it goes back to the JFK thing that we were
Mhm.
talking about the babushka lady.
Yeah,
You know, like her not coming forward
Yeah,
doesn't make sense to us because a lot of people will make stuff up to get into the position that she
Yeah.
was in. You know,
yeah,
like people will
Well,
pretend that they
yes.
were at JFK's shooting
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pretend that they have video in order to become famous, which is why that one's so puzzling, and why stuff like Mothman and Bigfoot is so, I don't know, it just seems fake.
right. So we're back, and so as we talk about aliens,
yeah.
I know there was this
Aliens.
No, it seems far fetched, but there's people who swear by them.
I know. That's
Yeah.
like the
Like-
craziest part about it. Like,
Because I feel like what a lot of it is, you know, when you've seen something, you swear by it, you know it happened,
Yeah.
You go to somebody and they're like, didn't happen.
Yeah, and you're like,
Because a lot of it
you're
is
like,
so-
no way.
You don't
Yeah,
have any
it's so
evidence,
unbelievable.
but like there's some people I assume would die, like, and then just be like, I could die in this.
Yeah.
Promise, be like, you know what? I'll die for you to
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
appreciate what I said. And I feel like that's a lot of them. But there was I remember one of them, Leveland.
Mm-hmm.
I think at 1950.
This is the one that you were talking about earlier, right? Yeah.
1957 it was. And these people were driving along in their car, and they claimed, they saw this light structure, like this UFO, and all the electronics of the car cut out. Okay? Like, they saw all these lights up in the head. They went to the police and were like, I don't know what happened. All my car malfunctioned. And the police thought, as the police do, I mean, why wouldn't you be like, oh, it's a hoax? And so they investigated it, and they initially wrote it off as just like a thunderstorm or like a lightning storm, which cut the electronics of the car. But the weirdest part about that is it came out, and the day that happened, there was no lightning storm reported in the area. You know?
Yeah, like
That's
the
weird.
electronics, that just like doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like,
For everything to go.
yeah.
Engine to cut, electronics.
I think something like that is a little bit more believable.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that
That you didn't
still
like see
everything
it,
cut out,
but you saw the effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not claiming that some massive UFO flew over them, took them up into
Beamed
the
them up.
sky.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
They're all they're
Probed them,
claiming. All they're claiming is that their electronics shut off.
They
And
saw something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just this odd thing. It's like, oh, he said, she said kind of thing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, no, it's not. Yes,
That's
it
the
is.
problem with so many of these. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it's all about like
Because it puts in your head
yeah
that like, oh, that could be that, and like,
yeah. It's just it's like did you guys ever as a kid like look into your closet and see like I don't know like a shirt and think it was a monster?
Yeah.
yeah, of course,
It's like that, you know?
yeah, placebo effect kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you see something and your mind's already in one place and you're not
Yeah.
thinking rationally, so you just assume that it's something else.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
You just put it to the closest thing you can think, you know.
Exactly.
You see some dark, hazy object, you go, there's some lights behind it. That's an alien. isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a UFO. That is a UFO.
Yeah, why? What else would you think that is, you know?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like, when I was a kid, I was still believing in Santa, and I
As one does.
swear on everything that I like saw his shadow. Like, I literally like swear I can still picture it in my head. I swear that like it was Christmas Eve night. I heard something and I looked. I was on the top bunk of I had a bunk bed. I looked over the side, and I literally can swear to you that I saw like this shadow moving. Like,
Dude, I hate to break it to you. I think your house got broken into.
I
I think you just had some creepy old man looking at you while you were sleeping.
Yeah, he wanted to climb into bed with me. I don't know.
I don't know what he was doing. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, no, like it was crazy though.
That's bizarre.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but like I guess it was just my mind
Playing
like,
tricks on you.
Yeah, but I literally could swear by it. That
Yeah, it's like kind of like the Mandela effect. in a
yeah,
way. Like
yeah.
there's, I forget the specifics of the Mandela effect, but everybody swore they saw, like thousands and thousands of people swore they saw. Was it, of course, Mandela?
No, they think that Mandela died in like the 90s.
Yeah, and they swear by it.
They swear by it. But
Yeah.
he really died in 2013.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and it's not like you think, hey,
Yeah.
a couple hundred people think that, and you go, hey, nah.
Yeah.
But for people to swear by it, that's
Yeah.
something else. You know what I mean?
And people like the classic, the Star Wars, Luke, I'm your father.
Yeah,
That's never said in the movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You didn't
Wait,
know that?
say that again?
Luke, I'm your father. He never says that.
Yeah.
What does he say?
He's like, I am your father. He just says that. He doesn't say, Luke, I'm your father. He says, I am your father.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not what you think it is.
Yeah.
That is bizarre.
Just
Are you-
people have got it so in their mind
Yeah.
that they start to
Yeah.
believe it.
I pulled it up. So the Mandela effect is a phenomenon where a group of people collectively misremember a fact or an event. So it's pretty much exactly what we were talking about. It's
Yeah.
just the idea that you you experience something, and then after the fact, you sort of warp it in your own head to make it make sense.
Yeah, and I feel like, but the thing is, when there's a lot of people, then you can be like, oh no, these people are lying. Because there was another alien case that I was looking into that it was in Belgium. It was over this city in Belgium, and people swore by it. They were like, all these people in Belgium, like all these citizens were like, there was something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I've seen that too, actually.
Yeah.
That was kind of recent, wasn't it?
I don't know if it's necessarily recent, but like for that many people to come out and say that, and then to be diminished as, oh no, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like you can't say that.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I don't know.
Like, I feel like it's because of the stigma around it. You know, somebody shout alien. You know, you're like, who's this guy?
What?
You know what I mean?
I think aliens are a conspiracy theory that has been, I don't know, twisted a lot by particularly media and people
movies,
exactly.
people searching for fame. But I think
like the Avengers, like Thor, he's an alien. He's literally
technically he is an alien.
But yeah.
You know, but
Thanos.
I think
Thanos.
I think it's just, I think alien conspiracy theories deserve a little bit more attention. I think some of them deserve it.
I think you gotta be blind to not see that there is something out there.
Yeah. There has to be. Like,
absolutely.
Like we were just
the universe
talking
is ever expanding.
We just got the first picture of a black hole today. Like
you were showing it to us earlier. Yeah, there's constantly more out there,
and it's ever expanding too at the speed of light. Yeah, which is like what?
Absurd. Don't even get me started on.
And we're just
that stuff is mind-boggling.
We're like a tiny speck of a tiny speck
of
dust
in
in a whole pile of dust in like a room.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? We're just this small thing, and for us to be like, no,
there's nothing else.
We're the only people is just ridiculous.
Egocentric.
Yeah. Exactly, egocentric.
Like we were saying earlier, I don't think necessarily all these aliens coming down abducting people and making these crop circles.
But there's something else.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. All set?
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're up for our next topic here.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
I'll switch.
You want to just...
Okay.
So it keeps... Yeah, exactly. Where the fuck is GarageBand?
Quite possibly the most famous of all.
Or infamous.
Or infamous.
Yeah, there you go.
9/11.
Exactly.
It's so shrouded in mystery.
It's absurd. There's so many things.
Because the thing I personally think is it could be planes, but it also could be something else. And once you
really
missiles, like
not necessarily something else, but
like
Pentagon, everybody thinks it's a missile.
Yeah,
because I remember I was looking into it and
they didn't find plane parts. They found
zero
fins.
Zero debris.
Yeah.
Zero. And it's like,
have you heard all this stuff on? Like, there's so much about the Pentagon, but the maneuver that the pilot did was nearly impossible.
Really?
Nearly impossible.
Yeah, because he got sent out of New Jersey, like north.
Yeah, and the level that he would have to be off the ground is something that even an experienced pilot couldn't pull off. And this was a dude who got kicked out of flight school.
Yeah,
like he was a horrible pilot.
Yeah, not to mention, like going back to what we said earlier, the FBI, CIA not working together. They had some of these guys on watch lists. But they didn't talk to each other.
Mm-hmm. I have the exact stats. So these two people come in on the CIA watch list, of course, as terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
So they come into the US, and the CIA doesn't tell the FBI. They're known terrorists. Yeah. They go to San Diego. They book flight schools with their full names in. Like their actual names, they were on the terror watch list. They even had a phone. Some dude's phone number was connected to his name. Never told the FBI, and these two men, like, flew. Then went in and flew.
You want to know the worst part about that?
What?
These guys at flight school only wanted to know how to fly it, not take off or land, just to maintain flight.
That's what I was watching, and I think, speaking of the Pentagon thing, is I was looking into it, and there's a video. it's old. I mean, of course, 2001, so the footage not, but it's the security footage, and you can see it just come in, and
that's actually the only footage of the Pentagon.
Really?
The government confiscated everything else.
Yeah.
All the other footage, everybody who was there. The only footage that's available to the public is 5 frames from the security camera from, I think it's a convenience store across the street or something like that.
No, well, the one I found was security footage, like, of the gate, and it shows it doesn't necessarily show. The thing is I was looking at it and you can't see what it is.
Yeah,
you see one thing that you can, okay, that might be a plane, but it could be something else, and then it's just bam. It's blown up. There's nothing in between, nothing slowed down. It's just that, and then it's gone.
Which suggests a missile. Also, another thing about the Pentagon, it hit the only part of the entire Pentagon that was reinforced for something like that, like a missile attack, or I think it was actually made for an airplane crash.
Really?
Into the Pentagon. It hit the only area of the entire Pentagon. Anywhere else would have killed infinitely more people.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, well, going back to, like, New York, though. So, I don't know if you had anything to start us off.
Those are definitely planes.
Yeah.
We can all agree on that. We've all seen the videos.
Those are definitely planes.
Those are planes.
I have a couple videos. It's not necessarily like the plane coming in. It's more how it falls. I feel like that's where a lot of the conspiracies are.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff around the falling of the towers.
We'll show you on the screen with the screen recording, but if you want to pull it up.
Oh yeah.
There's a collapse of the Twin Towers, and then there's also a video of a demolition building, like a proper demolition building.
Yep.
And they look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I remember learning about was that the heat that it would the story is that the metal beams collapsed, which caused from the fire from the plane and the jet fuel and whatever. But there's a conspiracy that it was actually thermite.
Yeah, I looked into that.
The towers.
There was thermite, and there's also theories where people swear in the footage they can see explosions happening way below.
There's a lot of reports of hearing that as well.
I was reading into the thermite thing, and these people were claiming that once the attack had happened and you're in the rubble, there was these burning pools of fire, and I was looking it up, and there's no way this jet fuel could burn that long, and that hot.
Produce that heat at the beginning to initially cause the break.
Yeah, and with the thermite thing is people were saying, they thought the steel beams were actually covered in this like thermite paint where it could fuse and burn. Lacing all these steel beams, and you can't. The classic jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
Yeah.
It seems cliche and classic at this point, but it's got a point if you think about it.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's a fact. And
it just seems a little bit too good to be true to have to not have the thermite. And then there's also Building 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The building that wasn't even hit by the planes collapsed.
Yeah, and
collapsed in the same manner.
Yeah, exactly.
The World Trade Center collapsed.
The thing is there was multiple witnesses that came out and said they heard explosions before the plane hit the tower. Yeah, multiple. And what that be from? You know what I mean? You can't explain that. Yeah. But I think my necessarily thing with the conspiracy theory here is not that it wasn't like all these planes. I believe it was planes. I don't necessarily think it was like steel beams, like lacing thermite. I think it was the government knew. They just didn't want to do anything about it.
I think.
Yeah. And there's clear.
There's no way that the government orchestrated all of 9/11. I think what they did is that they saw what was happening and took advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean,
because I was doing some research, and
Because if it were to come out that the U.S. government planned the entire 9/11 attack, like
it would ruin
the
United States.
The U.S. You know,
goes against fundamental.
Yeah, I don't think that
basis.
I just don't think that's a bet that they'd be willing to take.
But
you know,
yeah.
Whereas capitalizing on something that's already happening, that's out of their control, makes much more sense to me.
Well, so it gave us a cause
to go into
exactly,
Iraq,
and that thing is
for oil.
But the thing about going into Iraq, it wasn't Iraqis who did it; it was Saudis.
Yeah.
We didn't even go into Saudi Arabia.
No,
we went into Afghanistan.
Never have, never will.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, because Saudi Arabia owns, I think it's
like 14% of.
It's more. It's like 19% of the United States economy.
Yeah.
Is what they're
buildings.
they're not going to invade Saudi Arabia. It just doesn't make any sense.
But
for us economically,
it was definitely previous knowledge before the attacks. Like I've got some
for sure.
Some
like
stats
the training exercises the day before, stuff like that.
So sources said there was the alleged 20th hijacker of September was interested in learning how to fly, not take on land, like we said. An Iranian in custody in New York City itself told local police last May, this was an article in 2002, so about a plot to attack the World Trade Center.
Really?
Yep. US investigators confirmed in October that 29-year-old, this is of course 2001, confirmed that 29-year-old Iranian in custody in Germany made phone calls before the attack, and he was like the days before the attack, and that's what his quote is saying about this attack's intimate, and like you're saying,
imminent.
Intimate.
It's okay. Some intimate attacks.
Like you're saying, but I think definitely the most factual knowledge of previous knowledge before 9/11 is in the stock market. And that is so interesting.
Yeah.
I did a lot of research into that, and I found some insane things. So, two airlines were used in the hijacking: American and United.
Yep.
So, short selling, for those of you who don't know, short selling is when you buy stocks to predict that it's going to go down and you make money from it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Both United and American in the months before went up in short sellings. Also, I think put options. Sorry, it's called put options. Went up 40% in the months previous. Other big airlines together only went up 11%.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And after the attack, United stock fell 43%, and Americans fell 39%.
Jeez.
And here's like even more stats about it. I think it's insane. So the Chicago Board Exchange saw 4,744 put options put on United Airlines between September 6th and 7th, compared to only 396 call options where they predict that it will rise.
Wow.
On September 10th, 4,516 put options were put on American Airlines versus only 740 call options that were put on the company. And the profit holders would have received $5 million in payment for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
$5 million?
Yeah, and I have a quote here from a person who was really into the stock market. I mean, of course, we're not stock market experts, but here it is. I saw put call numbers higher than I've ever seen in 10 years of following the markets, particularly the most option markets. That's John Kinnican, a principal of Broadband Research, an independent telecommunications research firm, and he told the San Francisco Chronicle, and he said when one sees this type of activity, the first thing one does is ask oneself, what's the explanation? What are people worried about? You know? That's what he came out and said. And this dude has been following the stock market for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, and he's never seen that.
Yeah.
What makes you in the days before think,
oh,
you know, it's not random. You know, it's a point where people...
I think one of the biggest things was the insurance policy
Yeah.
was taken out.
Definitely.
The terrorist insurance policy taken out by Larry Silverstein 2 months before the attacks.
Never seen before.
2 months.
Never seen. Never
before.
purchased.
Yeah.
Never used.
Exactly.
He was awarded $4.5 billion from it.
Yeah. It's just a money-making scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was saying about the stocks, is these people making millions off of this.
You just
millions.
You can't tell me that these people did not know about this beforehand.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The amount of money that was made off of it, like, it just screams predetermined thought.
Yeah.
You know?
And there was, I think people were scared to like, because of course there might be some random people. I
If
get
someone's
that.
gonna say that though, like if they're gonna come out and be like, I know something like it's going to happen, the government may or may not be in on it. Like who knows if they're just scared for themselves? Like
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
you also have to consider that it's such a big issue. Even today, like, talking about the conspiracy theories surrounding 9/11
yeah.
can stir up some serious stuff.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know?
it's
like,
still
people get heated about it.
yeah.
So the idea that, you would have something that completely refutes the US government's story, you know, I can't imagine putting myself in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's $2.5 million still sitting there in stocks unclaimed.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, still to this day,
Jeez.
unclaimed. So, it makes you think, because these people, I mean, I get there might be some people putting put options, be like, lucky bet.
Yeah.
But to see that spike, I mean, I've got another stat here from Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter and Co., and they occupied 22 floors of the World Trade Center, and it saw 2,157 put options placed, and $45 each in the 3 days trading before Black Tuesday, the day after 9/11 occurred, where stock went down. This stat, 2,157, compares to the average of 27 put contracts per day on before September 6th.
I mean,
To see that spike, and and like other companies did, stock prices fell. It went from $48.90 to $42.50.
yeah.
And they would have profited, it says, I was reading here, 1.2 million in money.
You just you can't look at that.
You can't make that up.
And
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
me that there's not something going on there.
Yeah, there's an even crazier one. So
is it?
Merrill Lynch and Co. They had headquarters near the Twin Towers. Saw 12,215 October $45 put options bought in the 4 trading days before the attacks. The previous average volume in those shares had been 252 per day.
Wow.
A dramatic increase of 1,200%.
Had to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000. Yeah, it's that crazy. 1,200% increase in put options,
That's absurd.
and it like Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter and Co. Stocks fell. Theirs fell as well from $46.88 to $41.50, and with these 11,000 people knowing, it would have profited about
It's
5.5 million.
It's crazy. It's just like the
Everything
amount
about
of
it,
the amount
yeah.
of money that's there
Yeah.
to be made from these terrorist attacks is ridiculous. Like it doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
for it not to be somewhat thought out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Pre-thought.
there has to be something there where they knew about the attacks.
Yeah.
They
There's-
didn't plan it. I don't think they planned it, but
thing is-
they had to have known about
And
it.
the thing is it's not just the 2 planes that went into the Twin Towers were the fishy ones. The Pentagon was a fishy one as well. But Flight 93 as well.
Yeah.
Disappeared, vaporized.
Yeah. Like,
And-
I was reading something here, and there was parts of the aircraft found 6 miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was I remember I did a project on that flight in particular. So have you guys have seen the pictures of the crash?
The crash
right?
on the ground.
Yeah.
How it's like there's that crater and then
Yeah.
the
There's like the siding.
it looks like wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was already there. The only thing that wasn't there was the big circle. in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That like I don't know what you would call it, like a crack
Yeah.
in the ground. That was already there. Like there's pictures of it from months back.
Wow.
Really? I didn't know that. Yeah. Wow.
In the exact same location and everything, and the hole where they say the nose hit just looks like a bomb went off.
Yeah.
You know? It doesn't look like
It looks like they've
Yeah.
gone, hey, that crack could be a perfect place for this plane to theoretically crash. And gone, hey, we got to make something look a bit more. And then, I'm not saying they staged this, because I'm not saying anything's for fact, but
Yeah, of course.
if you're going to stage something, why wouldn't you do it in a field where it's predisposed? It
Yeah.
looks like something's messed up already.
And no one around could
Yeah.
be interfering or seeing what
But then
these guys are doing.
there's always facts that dispute this. Like with me saying they found wreckage six miles away. I was reading into a bit more. It was only like these paper and light pieces of this aircraft,
okay.
and it was also downwind where they found it. So this stuff
That
could have
could
been
have been,
blowing.
yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't know. There's so much surrounding 9/11 as a whole. I mean, Pentagon and Flight 93 are insanely suspicious.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the amount of cover up that went into it, and you know the security footage,
And
you only
just
have
the
5
obscurity
frames.
of it still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that doesn't even include the New York attacks.
Yeah.
You know, which there's so
Surrounded
much
by the
there's
stock
so
market.
much around
Yeah.
it. Yeah, the money making is ridiculous.
Yeah. And then also to do with money, I was looking into who helped fund it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and here's the weirdest thing. You know how Bush, of course, went for Hussein?
Yeah.
He was quoted in September 2003, the year, the start of the Iraq War. President Bush told the press, "We have no evidence that Saddam Hussein was involved with September 11th."
Really?
Quoted as saying that, yeah. Even
At
though
the
they
beginning.
went to, that was at 2003
Wow.
when
No one,
they went
no
to
one
war
paid
with
attention.
Iraq.
I guess
They're
not.
like,
Yeah.
Bush says Iraq did it.
Nationalism.
Yeah.
Get him.
There's also
Exact, some nationalism right there.
There was also from Saudi Arabia a Pakistani man from the Pakistani intelligence service wired $100,000 to the main hijacker, who then distributed it
To his family?
to the other hijackers, and of course would have given it to his
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
And the weirdest part is the general at the time, General Mahmoud Ahmed, was fired from the position after it came out that the $100,000 had been wired. He was fired the day after. Like there was a thing into them.
Yeah.
They were all looking there.
That's absurd.
You know, like if you didn't do it, you're gonna stay, defend your position.
Yeah, there's also
come on.
the
Yeah.
thing. The Bin Laden family was in the U.S.
Yeah, and they
when
flew them out.
They flew the Americans
right.
flew them out.
Yeah.
They let the Bin Ladens leave.
Yeah, because I was reading something and it was talking about Bush had actually business connections. The Bush family had business connections.
Oh, there's tons of business
with the Al
connections
Qaeda family.
with the Bin
Yeah.
Al
Ladens.
Qaeda family, the Bin Laden
Yeah.
family. Sorry.
Yeah, the Bin Ladens are. Yeah, there's a bunch of connections between the Bin Ladens and the Bushes. They go all the way back, but it's just. I mean, come on. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way that some of these conspiracy theories at least aren't true.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
all these 9/11 documents have been redacted. You know, if
Yeah.
you look
Yeah.
in all black marker over them, like if it really, really was, like I get for the families, sometimes they don't want everything out there. Like if it was genuine,
Yeah.
and I get that, and I feel very sorry for all the families that are going through this
I mean,
and all.
Of course, like none of this is in spite. It's in finding the truth.
It's in fact help
Yeah, but
the
who,
families.
if there wasn't like any sort of like evidence or any thought that the government was in on this, who in their right mind would have come up with the idea that the government would do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Without
make sense
looking
unless
into
there's
it,
some
yeah.
form of evidence or
Exactly.
proof, you know?
exactly.
Because I mean, people will think, hey, it wasn't just these terrorists,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like I don't think they would make that jump straight to the government.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's got to be something connecting the
it
two
doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
for you to
Like
make that jump.
this whole conspiracy couldn't have come out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, there has to be an origin somewhere
Yes.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And I feel like that's common with most theories. Is
yeah,
there's a basis in truth of where
Yeah.
where these theories are coming from. There's a
But
reason why
at the
it's
same
going there.
time,
yeah.
But at the same time, it all could just be
yes.
yeah.
could be real, and these
I
are
think
just
I
stories
think
at the end of the
9/11
day.
is one of the most confusing.
I don't think we'll ever find it out because
Yeah.
I don't think so.
because I don't think the
I don't think
government
we'll
will
find
ever come
any of these out.
I don't
Honestly,
think-
in our lifetime,
I
there's
don't
no
think
way
people want to
yeah.
find out.
Nobody wants
you
to
know
find
what I
out.
mean?
The government is not going to tell us about JFK.
Exactly.
They're not
Yeah.
going to tell us about 9/11, and they're not
Yeah.
going to tell us if they've been in contact with aliens. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. The only way we're going to find out is if one of us like becomes a government official.
Yeah.
You know,
Like, yeah.
that's the only way.
Yeah.
Everything else is it's so secretive.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Completely shrouded in mystery. Really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
all of these are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that is about
That's about it
all
for
the
Yeah, I
time
think-
we have.
Yeah. It should be a
But-
good episode, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be a good episode. Hope
Yeah.
you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, we got more
thank
coming
you-
your way.
thank you.
Yeah,
for
we definitely
listening.
put some facts out there. So if you learn
Exactly.
something, drop a like. Please subscribe.
Exactly.
We're putting a lot of effort into
Notifications.
this.
Yeah.
Turn on notifications.
Mm-hmm.
Click that bell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right,
we'll see
thank
you guys
you.
the next one.
Thank
very
you.
much.